but I'm not feeling 100% today, which is why I'm just kind of like bleh right now. It's um, it's kind of funny because the more I'm sharing about these peptides with you guys, the more I am realizing the true healing properties of so many of these peptides because a lot of you know I have chronic neck pain. I had a car accident back in 2017, have multiple levels of disc bulges in my neck, and so I get treatment for those. And the treatment that they do that helps me to not be in constant pain is ablations, burning the nerves on both sides of my neck. And the left side of my neck we did the day before Thanksgiving of last year, and the right side of my neck we did in early February of this year. And I felt great for months. You know, it burns the nerves. My doctor is very aggressive with burning my nerves to help with the pain, because that's the only thing that'll do it unless I get surgery and fuse my neck, which yeah, that's not happening. Um, but now, having been utilizing peptides for a few months, and specifically the healing peptides, I have been having a lot of pain, and that results in me getting migraines more frequently. It affects my workouts, so on and so forth. So again, N equals one, so I'm experimenting on myself, and I am pretty sure that these healing peptides I have been using the past few months have actually expedited my nerves growing back together on both sides of my neck, which is putting me back in the position that I was in over a year ago. Go figure. So it's a curse and a blessing, I guess you can say, because obviously this shows the type of healing that it can do within our bodies. It just sucks for me because that means I end up with painful neck issues again. But, you know, what's she gonna do? So it's okay. So if I seem a little subdued tonight, that is why. I've been fighting this migraine, trying to pop into my head all day. And so I feel good right now, and we're going to do this class because it's so important for you guys to get this information about all of these peptides, and I like being here with all of you as well. Thanks, Cindy, I appreciate that. So tonight we are going to learn about TB-500, which is one of the most well-known peptides in the recovery and healing world. So if you've ever had like an injury, a strain, sprain, or just inflammation issues that refuse to heal, like where your body is just kind of like it put on the brakes for continuing the healing, or it just seems like it's kind of going in slow motion. TB-500 is very popular among athletes, but now it's being explored for more chronic inflammation and other slow healing that may be going on, as well as tissue repair, which is why, again, that was part of the protocol I utilized to help heal up my leg. So my disclaimer, this class is for educational purposes only. I am not prescribing, nor am I recommending peptides for anybody. I am simply explaining how they work so that you can make an informed decision with a medical professional on your own. There we go. So what is TB-500? I guess you guys have got to be probably so confused by all these letters and numbers that I keep throwing at you week after week, right? So TB-500 is the synthetic version of a naturally occurring protein called thymosin beta 4. Thymosin beta 4, yes, which is found in almost every single cell in our bodies. It is involved in cell migration, tissue regeneration, wound repair, inflammation reduction, super important, right? And then also blood vessel formation. So what it's most known for is helping the body repair soft tissue. So if you have some sort of a soft tissue injury, whether it be sports related, motor vehicle collision related, blunt trauma, you fall down and you skin your knee, you tear something, tendons, ligaments, muscles, skin, the fascia, and even the heart. There has been research that's been showing promise with regards to helping heal the certain areas of the heart. So how TB-500 works is it promotes cell migration. So it essentially helps cells move more quickly to an injured area, kind of like sending construction workers to a work site or a damaged area to start working on fixing things, specifically I think automatically, like when we have hurricanes and things like that, you've got the guys that go in there to start fixing stuff immediately, going directly to the areas that have damage. So think of TB-500 doing that with ourselves in our bodies. So on top of cell migration, it also encourages angiogenesis. You're going to hear a lot of repetitive things from the BPC 157 and even the NAD masterclass we did, because these peptides work so well together. They're very synergistic, and that's why so many people will make stacks, and we'll go over those towards the end of this class of some of the most popular stacks that people will do. But angiogenesis is supporting the formation of new blood vessels. So obviously we have new blood vessels in our bodies. It's going to increase oxygen, it's going to increase nutrients, and it's also going to promote healing factors to the damaged tissue that we want to obviously heal faster than it may be doing. It helps to reduce inflammation. So it helps to calm down those inflammatory cytokines and oxidative stress. So it makes it helpful when inflammation is preventing healing, which anybody who has chronic inflammation within their body and they may be dealing with certain chronic conditions, you understand the correlation there. So that's obviously a very important thing. TB-500 supports collagen remodeling. So it'll help to the proper alignment of collagen, which is essential for strong and healthy connective tissue. People think of collagen for, I take collagen, or I'm making sure that I consume enough collagen because of face, skin, things like that. Well, it's connective tissue, period. So TB-500 encourages mitochondrial support. There is actually some research that suggests it helps to stabilize mitochondrial activity during an injury, which will then support faster healing within our body. So TB-500 doesn't necessarily force healing, but it definitely supports the environment that our body needs in order to repair itself. So some of the top reasons why people will use TB-500 is, like I said before, injuries that just won't heal. Tendon and ligament tears, chronic muscle strain, fascia adhesions, and then also overuse injuries, which again is why this particular peptide is utilized so much among athletes, because obviously whether they're professional athletes or not, a lot of time you end up with those overuse injuries, even in strength training and going to the gym on a regular basis. You can end up overdoing it a little bit and cause an overuse issue in your own body. The second is post-surgical healing, which again, I used it. I wouldn't say what I had was a surgery, but it was a procedure where a chunk of my leg was scooped out. So it helps with speeding up recovery. It supports better tissue remodeling. I can attest to that. And it can help to reduce long-term inflammation from obviously a procedure being done in our bodies. It will help reduce chronic inflammation. So that's separate from the long-term inflammation potentially from a surgical procedure. It'll help with joint irritation, and it will also help with gut-associated inflammation when combined with, BPC 157 or KPV. Again, you're going to hear stacks that TB-500 is utilized with frequently because of the way that it works with other peptides. Performance and recovery. So it'll be utilized to reduce recovery time, which is always a good thing, right? I mean, if we can heal faster, then we're going to be able to function better moving forward. It'll help improve mobility, which is very important, especially when we're recovering. And a lot of people understand that are people who have had joint replacements done, and they want you up and moving like within 12 to 24 hours. So that will also help with improving the mobility for you to be able to make sure that we don't have any issues with joint replacement. And then supporting connective tissue health as well. So the synergy with other peptides that TB-500 has, it's almost always stacked because it basically plays well with others. It's a great healing peptide, but it works well with so many other peptides that it comes into play with, especially BPC 157, which, full spectrum tissue repair. We talked about that at length. GHK copper, which is surface level healing. I utilized that with my particular area of healing I needed. KPV, which is for deep inflammation modulation. NAD+, which we talked about last week for cellular energy and recovery. And then AOD, which is going to help with it indirectly with joint support. And again, the ones that I've listed on here, we're still going to go over some of these things. So as we talked about when I did the BPC 157 masterclass, I had that spot in my lower thigh that was, the biopsy spot that was just taking forever to heal. And I'd heard such horror stories about people who had similar scooping done out of their body, we'll say, and how long it took for them to recover from that, how long it took for the skin to regrow over the area, how long it took for the tissue to refill in so there wasn't like a divot in the area, which I had probably a good 2 centimeter divot that was there in my leg. And I had a girlfriend who had a similar procedure done on her arm, not nearly as big, and it took her over a year to have everything fill in and cover back up, the skin to regenerate. So I didn't want to have to wait a full year to have that. So I used the TB-500 along with the BPC 157, the GHK copper, and the KPV. Obviously, the TB-500 helped to accelerate the deeper tissue repair that I needed, which is why I believe it filled in as quickly as it did. It helped to reduce the inflammation around the site. It supported that underlying tissue that was there so that it wasn't, getting kind of hanky and having any issues there. And it worked so beautifully with the BPC 157 to speed up the recovery of that area. So there wasn't the redness, the irritation. It never really itched as it was healing. Like you anticipate healing is going to cause there to be itching in the area. Like it's just something, especially like when you have a scab and it's healing up, you get itchy in that area. I never really experienced that, which was great. It likely contributed to the basically an overall systemic decrease in inflammation that I had not realized I was still holding on to, as I had talked about in the BPC 157 class. And then also, it definitely played a role in the overall improvement in all of the bloating and other inflammatory discomfort that I was still experiencing that I hadn't even really thought of. So the TB-500 kind of felt like the deep tissue support that my body needed, so that the other peptides that I had stacked with it could also do their jobs more effectively. And that's why I said a lot of these stacks work so beautifully together, and you'll see how synergistic TB-500 is with these other stacks that we're going to get into right now. So probably the most popular healing combo for peptides is the TB-500 and the BPC-157. The BPC heals the gut and also will help decrease inflammation. The TB-500 will heal the deeper tissues. And so together, the two of them are basically assisting with a faster and more complete recovery, which, again, I experienced that myself. TB-500 and GHK copper is, the TB-500 is rebuilding the deeper tissue. GHK copper repairs the surface tissue, so the upper levels, which is great for, wounds, scars, biopsies, etc., incisions, and things like that. TB-500 and KPV, the TB-500 supports our tissue, the deeper tissue, and KPV helps to calm down the inflammation at the immune system level. So, great for chronic inflammation and slower healing that we may be experiencing because of other issues that might be happening within our body, that maybe we are a little more immune suppressed because of other issues happening within our bodies. Okay, so TB-500 and NAD+. We talked last week, the NAD supports our mitochondrial energy, cellular repair. TB-500 helps with cellular remodeling. And so this is another really strong recovery stack that a lot of people will utilize. Think of TB-500 as basically like the donkey or the workhorse. It's not flashy, it's not fancy, but it definitely accelerates everything happening below the surface, which is not a bad thing. So again, with every class I'm doing with you guys, I want to talk about safety, dosing, and guidance. You need to make sure that peptides are going to be sourced responsibly. We want peptides that are sourced within the United States. Beware of gray markets that claim that they've got COAs. A lot of them are turning out to be fake, and we want to make sure that what you are putting inside of your body is safe and something that your body can handle. You need to work with a provider who knows what they are doing with regards to peptide therapy. The dosing protocols are going to vary depending upon what it is that you are looking to heal or recover from. TB-500 is not FDA approved at this point, and it shouldn't be used something in a casual manner. Just like any peptides, they should be taken very seriously. This is a peptide that will work best when inflammation is being addressed holistically. And again, utilizing the foundations that are vital to making sure this all comes together perfectly. We want to make sure our nutrition is being addressed. We want to make sure we have good sleep. We want to make sure we've got low stress. We want to make sure that we are moving like we're supposed to. We want to make sure the foundation is there while we are also utilizing these tools on top of it, because these aren't magic fixes. They are support tools for an already healing focused life. It's just the icing on the cake, right? So, um, people who may benefit from TB-500 are, um, and having a conversation with a medical provider or a professional about it is somebody, people who are dealing with tendon and ligament issues that are just not improving. They're not going away no matter what you do. Chronic strains or sprains within your body that, again, are very slow to heal, or you just keep re-straining a particular area of your body. Slow healing wounds, like me, surgery recovery, chronic inflammation. Again, y'all see a pattern here. Mobility limitations, and high volume training athletes. So basically, this particular peptide is for a person who wants to heal smarter and not have to work harder at healing, which is kind of, counterproductive. So, um, the within our bodies, healing is not just one thing, it's an entire environment. So again, foundations for us to pair with the TB-500, if this is something that you are thinking may be beneficial, are utilizing an anti-inflammatory nutrition, healing our guts, making sure we have optimized sleep, definitely reducing stress, some sort of movement therapy, strengthening the areas surrounding where the injury may be. That's where physical therapy comes into play, and it works really well for people. And supporting mitochondria with NAD plus and other metabolic support, because peptides will only amplify what your lifestyle is already supporting. Remember, these are not replacing the foundations that we need to have in place. They are, again, synergistically working alongside of them. So, do we have any questions? I know it's been a little bit quiet in the comments here. And I know this is, again, a lot to kind of take in 25-minute class. And I know that there's a little bit of a delay, which means I can take a drink. No? Okay. So I'm going to close with, I want you guys, again, to understand that TB-500 is one of the most fascinating peptides just because it works behind the scenes with other peptides. It's not masking the symptoms that you may have happening in your body at that point. It's supporting the tissues, repairing, regenerating, and doing what naturally they are supposed to do. We just may have quieted down the signals because of, again, our lifestyles, our environment. We talked about that on Friday in Cindy's group, that, we get all of these scare tactics thrown at us, or just fear mongering constantly thrown at us. And you got to consider the environment that we all live in, because it seems like anything anymore is going to cause cancer or it's going to kill us. And unfortunately, most of us, can't afford to live in a bubble and never leave our homes and have everything perfect, or like I said, live in the biodome. It's just not realistic. We have to support our bodies in the environment that we are essentially forced to live in. And these are the types of things that will do that. Cindy said she has one question about if there's anything that would lower a CAC. That's an excellent question, Cindy, and that is something I will have to look into for you. I will go through my book and see if there's anything. We've got a lot about cardiac health and cardiac repair, but I don't know if there's anything specifically about clearing plaques in our arteries. But I will definitely look into that for you, and I'll be in touch if I find anything. And then if I see anything, I will make sure that I post it inside of the group, because I don't think I've ever had a question like that. And I know how much your CAC score concerns you, the two that you've had recently. So I will definitely look into that for you. Let me write that down. There's Cindy giving me homework. I love it. You're very welcome. So, okay, well, if there are no other questions, I am going to go ahead and end this one a little bit earlier tonight so I can rest my head and hopefully get things to calm down a little bit in this upper region of mine here. So, everybody have a fantastic night. If you are watching the replay, please comment that you're watching the replay. If you're watching this on YouTube and you have questions, please make a comment and I will be able to go back and respond to them as I get notifications. But everybody have a wonderful Monday night, and I will see you all next Monday. Bye.